Welcome. Today in this episode, we are going to cover how to secure and control access to your Azure storage using SAS, Shared Access Signature keys, encryption, and RBAC. So let's get started. The first concept is SAS keys, Shared Access Signature. So let's talk about it. Well, SAS is a secure way to grant limited access to resources in your Azure storage without exposing your account keys. You can control the permissions like read, write, or delete, and even more permissions like that. And you can also restrict the access to a specific resource for a defined time window or time period. In simple words, if you don't want to expose your whole storage account, you can create these configurable keys to give someone the access to your environment. For example, you can give a container read access to a specific blob for a limited time without giving the full access to your storage account to a contractor. The next method to safeguard your environment is encryption. Well, Azure Storage automatically encrypts data at rest, always. And you can also do it in transit. This ensures that your data is always protected, whether it is stored in Azure or moving across networks. You can choose to use Azure managed keys, or if you don't want Azure to manage your encryption keys, you can also opt for customer managed keys for added control over your encryption. The best use case? Well, encryption ensures compliance with regulatory bodies such as government or your organization to protect your data, such as financial record, health records, and personal records of your customers. The next is RBAC. Well, role-based access control allows you to assign specific roles to users or applications. For example, you can assign roles like storage blob data reader or contributor to control access to your Azure storage resources. RBAC ensures least privilege access, so users and application or services only have the permission they need to perform their task or their duties. Best use case? By using RBAC, you can ensure that user or application don't have more permission than necessary, reducing the risk of unauthorized access for database and web server, where web server only need access or maybe just read and write access over database. Or maybe a website which actually use the media stored at the backend. Now this website only want to read the media, don't want to change it. So just give read permission. Now, here are some best practices for securing your Azure storage. Well, for that, use SAS keys to grant time-limited restricted access to specific resource. Encrypt your data at rest and in transit to protect it from unauthorized access. And use RBAC to ensure only the appropriate user or application have access to your storage resources. Combine SAS with RBAC for more granular control over who can do what with your storage resources. Now let's go to the lab and check out how we can create these SAS keys, how we can actually enable or disable encryption, and what is this RBAC. So I will see you in the lab. All right, now let's try to make our storage account secure. So in this lab, we will try to make sure that only a specific environment can access our storage account. And for all the other environments, that includes the public domain as well, cannot access the storage account at all. So for that, we need a storage account first. As you can see, I have the storage account, and it's a normal one, not the high performance one. So now I'm going to create a container, and I will put just a demo file in it, right? That image is just there to act as a test item. Plus, I will create a file share as well, and again, put a demo file in it. So this is my storage account, and inside it, I have my container demo. And inside my container, I have one test file. If I click here, and I copy the URL of this file, hit enter, I can see it from public domain. Now, if I go back to the machine which I'm running on Azure, can I also see this file from this machine? This machine is a little slow, but you should be able to see it. And here we go. This means right now, my infrastructure is not secure. Anyone can see my content. The next part is, how about my file share? I also have a file share. And if you go here, click on it, and then go to Browse. This is the file I'm talking about. If I copy the URL and go back to this machine, which is on Azure, let's try this. If I go and try to mount this file share, let's say I click here and mount it. Remember, you have to change the structure. So all the forward slash will be backslash, and there's no need for HTTPS. Let's see if I can connect. If you see this window which asks for your credentials, that means you are able to connect with your file share. Now, this machine is running on Azure. Now, I also have another virtual machine running on-prem. This means that it is running on my machine, my computer. So let's see if I can actually locate this file share from my computer. I have to copy the file share again. Let me just copy it. Let me convert this into SMB format. Okay. Let's try. All right, here we go. As you can see, we can actually connect. So this is not secure enough. Now let's make it secure. So what I'm going to do. So first of all, let's go to our storage account, click on it, and then go to your security plus networking. Then click on networking. The first thing I will do is I will disable my public access on all networks. I will say, let's disable it. It's disabled, right? Now I will save it. Now when you save it, now even you cannot access your storage. You can access your storage account, you cannot access your content in it. Let's go and try. If I click on containers, here's my container, click on it. You don't have access. If I go to my file share and browse it, I can still do it. It might take some time. Let me refresh. Let's try again. Yeah, now I don't have access. So when you change the settings, it might take some time. For me, it took like a minute or two. Now if I browse, I don't have access. Now we made it too secure actually. If we go here, if I do it again, and this time let's put the credentials. Let's see if we can connect. can go to my access key, copy it, paste it here. My password is NITASA. Sorry, username is NITASA. No, access is denied. Same thing for this one, NITASA. Access is denied. You cannot connect. You can try again. No, it's not working. So now you just disable all the access. So it is pretty secure now. But what if you want to give access to a specific machine or environment? Then we will create our private endpoints or service endpoints. So let's go ahead and create service endpoint first. So how will you do that? First thing first, let's go to our storage account and then click on networking. Over here, you will select enable from selected virtual networks and IP addresses. So it will be enabled, but for specific network location or IP addresses. So let's add existing virtual network then. This is where my machine is running. Which machine? This one. So I will select that, and it is inside this subnet. Don't worry about this one. This is the old lab. So my machine is inside this subnet. Now, service endpoint is required. Yes, we will do that. So enable it. Now, this will enable the service endpoint and then configure this virtual network over here in the storage account. This means only the machine inside the storage account can access my data. No other machine or environment can access my storage account. So this will take a minute or two, so let it finish, and then we will test. All right, so it's done. Now let's check it out. Perfect. So let's go back and try to access it on this machine. This machine is in Azure, in the same virtual network which we configured. So it says I cannot connect. Let's try again. I will put the same username and the password. Basically the password first. NITASA. All right, I may have to give it some time. And I forgot to save it. So once you add your configuration, you go on top and you save it. So now it is saved. Let's go back and test it. What was the name of the storage account? Let's go ahead and copy it again. File share. Okay. And then I also have to put the name of the file itself. So let me just find it out. Okay, let's try again. Access key, show, copied, paste. And here we go. Now you can access. What about this computer? Can I still not access it? Let's do it again. My password, NITASA. Nope, it's still not working. So this is how you make your environment more secure. What about the container? Let's try to go here and open our container. Remember, I'm trying to do it on my machine. This browser is running on my actual computer. I still don't have access. What if I go here on this machine, this is the virtual machine, in the network, which have a direct connection with my storage account, and open my Azure portal over here? I can do that. I can go to my Azure portal, and log in. So I just logged into my account like this, but on that VM which is hosted on Azure. Let's see if I have access to my storage account. So click on my storage account. Okay, let's open it. Then let's go to our data storage, containers, and as you can see, I have the access here. So this means that the storage account will give access to this computer or this environment. This is how you create a secure connection between your environment and your storage account. Perfect. What about file share? And yes, I can see the file share as well. I hope. Let's try to browse it. Perfect. So now, what if you want to move the security to the next level? What if I tell you that we can make sure that this machine could only connect to file share, not even the container? In that case, you can deploy private endpoints. So let's go ahead and deploy private endpoints. Now, before that, I have to remove the service endpoint which we deployed. So let's go back, go to our storage account. Again, go to security and networking, click on networking. It's a little bit slow. Then I don't need this, right? So let's remove this service endpoint and disable all the connections. Gone. Now, of course, when they will refresh it, let's say I want to get in. I cannot. I just removed the access. So I disabled it. Now let's create private endpoint. You can see on top, private endpoint connections. You click on it, then click on add private endpoints. Select resource group, name will be, let's call it storage account to VM connection. So a network card will be created because it is a private endpoint. Your storage account will need a private IP to connect with your resources. Next, resource. What resource you want to connect? You have to select that. So I don't want to connect my container, which is blob. I want to connect my file, a subservice. So I will select that. Next, to which network you want to connect it? Well, I want my private endpoint to be inside this network and this subnet. Okay. Do you want to give this network card a static IP? Well, you should, but for this lab, even a dynamic IP is good enough. Next. It will give this IP a DNS, so I'm okay with that. Tags are not compulsory in this case. And let's create it. So now I'm creating a private endpoint. All right, the private endpoint is created. As you can see, let's see the effects. So if I go back to my storage account, can I access it on my computer? Let's try. No, I cannot. It makes sense, right? So let's go to this machine. And as you can see, I got the access immediately. So I can actually access the file share. But what about my container? Let's go back and try to open it again. I want to see the container on this machine. Oh, demo is a container. Let's open it. Oh no, the access is denied. So this way, you can make sure that your environment or your resources can access a specific service with private endpoints. And this is how you can make your storage more secure. So this is the end of this lab. I will see you in the next one. Take care. Welcome back. Now I hope that you know how easy it is to create SaaS keys. Remember, these keys are crucial if you want to give a limited access for a limited time to anyone without exposing your whole storage account. Now, in summary, implementing SaaS, encryption, and RBAC will enhance your storage account security. SaaS is used for controlled access without exposing your account keys. Encryption is used for data protection at rest and in transit. RBAC is used for fine-grained control over user access, ensuring least privilege access is being used. By following these practices, you can ensure your data remains secure while being easily accessible by those who actually need it. So that's it for this episode. I will see you in the next one. Take care.